Now that Robbie understands what his Ghost Rider is, can he learn to work with Eli Morrow? Welcome to the Complete Story series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues, and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read it dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. This is literally the end of the original all-new Ghost Rider storyline. That's as far as they got before they canceled the series. Now, they've already announced they are bringing the series back since he's now been introduced on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So if you want more Robbie Reyes and you want to see him get an ongoing series, go buy the new book when it comes out. It's the only way to get it to keep going. At the end of our last story, Robbie Reyes was struggling learning how to handle having Eli inside of him, so much so that it drew the attention of Johnny Blaze. After the two of them took down Dr. Zabo's Blue Hide Brigade, Johnny told Robbie that he needed to harness his rage so that he may coexist with the spirit. But 10 months later, Robbie is having such a hard time handling Eli. After learning about a human trafficking ring, Robbie started to let the rage take over after he fought his way into the hangar because he saw children in cages. Eli looked at him and told him, "Just look at that! It would make anyone furious!" Robbie frees the children, but after leaving, he hears a gun being cocked. A second later, Robbie appears out of the ground, grabbing the man and holding a knife to his eye, while Eli tells him, "Do it! Kill him! Put the knife right through his skull!" A little while later, Robbie drives off as the cops arrive, and Eli tells him, "You have the spirit of a serial killer. Do you really think you can call the cops and just ignore this overwhelming need for murder?" Robbie tells him that he will hold out forever if he has to. He's a Ghost Rider now. And Eli asks, "Are you so sure about that? Because I'm about to make you very angry." The next day at their doctor's appointment, Gabe told Dr. DaCosta that lately he's been feeling weird. He's been wanting to try new things, but a voice deep down inside keeps telling him no. Dr. DaCosta tells him that that is perfectly normal. That voice that he hears, that's his conscience. And it helps him decide whether doing something is right or wrong. As they finish up, Robbie says that he's a bit concerned about his brother Gabe. He's thrown his Ninja Wolf away and he's lost all interest in his toys and comics. He doesn't even come out for dinner anymore. And she explains that Gabe is just growing up. He's 13 and he's beginning to act his own age. It's the age of self-discovery, wonder, and insecurity. Just think about what you were doing at 13, Robbie. Robbie thinks back and then he says he'd better go take care of Gabe. Later, on the car ride home, Robbie receives a call from his classmate Lisa asking if he can help her out with some of her calculus homework. And he tells her that he's pretty sure he can help. She just needs to swing by his place since he's watching Gabe. Once he gave her the address, Gabe says he's not a kid anymore. And Robbie says, "It's so we can spend time together." And Gabe responds with, "Is that why you ruined my room and left me alone in the dark with no food?" In the back of his mind, Eli asks, "How does it feel to have your only friend and family turn on you? Doesn't it make you angry?" But they eventually arrive home, and Robbie tells Eli he's an idiot. He's not going to get a rise out of him. Eli says, "Well, if that doesn't do the trick, maybe you should think about why you were born fine, but your brother wasn't. Maybe even think about why you're so mesmerized by that car. Or have you ever wondered why my things were under the floorboards in Gabe's room? Take a look inside the box, Robbie." Robbie grabs the box and pulls out a picture, and on it shows him, his parents, and someone else, Uncle Eli. Robbie thinks back to his parents arguing just before she had Gabe, and Eli says that his dad defended him, just like a big brother should, but in the end, they both got what they deserved. Eli asks Robbie, "You must be dying to know, right? Having pushed all of those memories deep down inside, trying to forget why your parents abandoned you and burdened you with so much, burdened you with Gabe?" Robbie shouts, "He is not a burden!" And then he hears the doorbell ring. Lisa comes in and the two of them begin their homework, but later when Robbie drives Lisa home, she says that, "You know she's not failing calculus, right, Robbie?" Robbie says he did kind of figure that out. He does enjoy hanging out with her. She tells him she knows he doesn't have a girlfriend, and she would like it to be her. So as the two of them are about to kiss, Eli tells him, "This girl makes me sick, just like your mother did. So sick that one day I pushed her down the stairs, hoping the pregnant cow would die. But she didn't. She did fall in her gut real good. That's why your brother is the way he is." Robbie's eyes light up and he tells Lisa that he's gotta go, but he'll call her tomorrow and he drives off. The rage begins to take over Robbie as he drives, and all he can do is scream while he begins to transform. The next day, while Robbie and Lisa watch TV, Eli says that he wanted to kill them, but Robbie manages to fight it down. Over in Gabe's room, Gabe tells his conscience that he says some weird things, and the voice tells him, "I'm not your conscience, but I'm here to help. I'm a spirit of justice, and you can call me Eli. There's a reason you didn't throw away your comics. It's because you're special, and just like in the comics, you're destined to be a hero, kid. Remember a year ago when your neighborhood was at war? That hero that saved you? Well, that was me, Gabe. And back then when I saved you, I knew that you would be a hero." Gabe begins digging through his closet, stating, "I need a costume." And he pulls out his old Ninja Wolf costume, and Eli tells him, "That'll do just fine." A little while later, Robbie is called into work and Lisa offers to watch over Gabe, and once Robbie leaves, Lisa takes Gabe out to get his medicine. On the car ride though, Lisa leaves Gabe in the car while she runs into the store, and when she comes back out, Gabe is missing. Gabe is watching from an elevator while Lisa starts to look for him, and on the elevator, Gabe is changing into his costume. People stare at him, but Eli tells him, "Don't worry about them. We gotta see this through, kid." As they reach the top floor, Gabe looks out the window and tells the spirit of justice he's scared. And Eli tells him, "You trust me, right? You wanna be a hero? Then jump." While working at the shop, some guys walk up to Robbie asking if he's Robbie, to which he tells them yes. The first man says, "Well, Igor Ivanov says hello," and they begin opening fire on Robbie. The man outside on the phone with Igor holds the phone out asking, "Did you hear that? I'm not sure why you're sweating so much about this kid." But Igor tells him to make sure the kid is dead. Don't let him transform. But it's too late as Robbie starts kicking all of the thugs, and Eli says, "As long as Igor Ivanov is alive, Robbie, I am not avenged. We will never catch a break. And if you don't kill him, no one around you is safe." Once the fight is over, Robbie calls the police to come by, and Eli says that the girl Lisa, she won't be safe until Igor is dead. Nor will Gabe. Then Robbie's phone rings and he sees that it's Lisa, and Eli asks, "Maybe it's too late already, Robbie." When Robbie answers, Lisa tells him, "She was gone for a second, it's all her fault, Gabe is gone." Robbie meets up with Lisa and the two of them begin driving around looking for Gabe. And just as Robbie asks Eli, "What did he do?" Gabe opens the front door and just stands there. Everyone goes inside and Robbie starts yelling at Gabe asking why he did that, and Gabe says that he was tired of waiting for his dumb girlfriend, so he took the bus home. Robbie tells him to apologize and Gabe says, "For what?" Eli says, "Teenagers can just drive someone mad sometimes, can't they?" And as Robbie tells him to watch his mouth, Gabe throws his controller in Robbie's face. His eyes begin to light up. And Lisa tells the two of them to calm down. But Robbie lunges and grabs Gabe by the neck. Lisa pulls him off and Eli asks, "Did you just try and kill your own brother? He'll never trust you again now." Gabe storms off telling Robbie that he hates him. But before he shuts his door, he turns back and Eli says, "Say goodbye to your brother, because he's mine now." Robbie sees the fire in Gabe's eyes and the door slams shut. He shouts for Eli to let him go and he kicks open the door, but Robbie sees that the window is already open, so he runs out front to see the car drive off. Over in West Hollywood, Igor is getting ready to leave when Eli, controlling Gabe, comes running and shouting, "There's no more running, Igor Ivanov!" Igor's men start driving off and shooting back at Eli, but Eli jumps from car to car, slamming into them until they flip. Igor crawls out of his car, calling him a monster, and Gabe responds with, "I'm not a monster, I'm a hero. He's the bad guy, right, Spirit of Justice?" And Eli tells him, "Yes, very bad. Stop him and he'll be a hero forever and ever." But before Gabe can kill him, Robbie calls out to him, "Don't do it!" Gabe turns around and Eli says, "That's my enemy. Let me handle this." Eli leaps towards Robbie, and then the Charger drives through Robbie straight into Eli, knocking him into the wall. Robbie throws down his chain, but Eli grabs it and pulls him closer, telling him, "You've been a real pain trying to negotiate with, but with this body, it's more docile and easy to manipulate." Robbie grabs a hold of Eli in the transformed Gabe body, but then Eli grabs him off his back and slams him into the ground. Eli makes his way to Robbie as he reverts himself, shouting to Gabe, "The thing inside of you is Eli Morrow, and he's a bad man, Gabe. You gotta trust me. I've always been there for you. I always will. I'm your brother. I love you, Gabe." Eli starts to laugh. "That sappy stuff won't work." But then his body stomps and Gabe shouts, "I love you too, Robbie." And then Eli just begins to scream, "No!" The spirit begins to leave Gabe and re-enters the body of Robbie, and Gabe falls down. And that's when Igor begins to crawl towards Gabe. With the spirit back in Robbie, Igor tells Robbie to stay back or he'll kill the boy. Robbie looks back, and then chains shoot out of the ground and into Igor, and it starts to burn. Eli says that he can burn for that, but as the chains pull Igor down, he tells Robbie, "You did it. Now that you've killed someone, our souls are bonded for eternity now, kid. I will curse you. I will plague your body and soul. I'll rot you out from the inside. Your will may be strong, but not strong enough to withstand a satanic serial killer." And as the smoke begins to settle, Robbie says, "I'll make you a deal, Eli. Find me the worst scum on the planet. Find me the torturers, the killers, the rapists, people like you, and I'll destroy them, but no one else." Eli begins to laugh. "Well, you got yourself a deal." And that's the conclusion of all new Ghost Rider. The book ended at this point. So now that Eli and Robbie are working together, it's going to be exciting to see what the next book that's coming out thanks to the TV show is going to do. And if you want to see more of this Ghost Rider, you need to go pick up that issue 1, that issue 2, that issue 3. The only way that this story is going to come back and continue is if you buy the books. And this is your chance to tell Marvel, I want this superhero. All right, follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian. Follow me on Instagram at Comicstorian. And let's chat about Ghost Rider.